Hey, Wholesome students, it's Mr. Sunny with Wholesome Learning, and this video is an instructional video on how to write an informational essay. So we're going to be going over two major parts of this informational essay. We're going to go over the pre-write, which is the most important part of your writing. It is the pre-write. I can't say that enough times. The pre-write, what we're about to do first, is the most important part when writing a successful, informative writing, or any type of writing for that matter. But this video, we're going to be focusing on informational writings. The second part of this video is going to be writing your draft. Now, whenever we talk about writing, we want to make sure that it becomes the easiest thing for us to do. So what I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video is how you could make your informational writing the easiest for you as possible, because I know that writing can sometimes be a chore. I know that writing can sometimes feel like, this is so much to write. I don't really know what to write. So let's make it easy for ourselves and plan out our entire writing before we even begin. Once we plan out our whole writing, we'll already know everything that's supposed to go into our writing before we even begin our writing. So that way it's the easiest for us. Okay. So the first part of our writing is going to be the brainstorming. Now with the brainstorming, there's going to be three different parts of our brainstorming. We're going to brainstorm the general flow of our writing, what the topic is going to be about, what the body paragraphs are going to look like, all that stuff. Then we'll look into the introduction, and then we'll go more in detail with the main idea, body paragraphs, subtopics, and also the conclusion. So I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get started. Share. Okay. So this is the first part of our pre-writing. It's the brainstorming page. This is where we're going to pick our topic. For the sake of this writing, for my example, I've chosen animals, and I've chosen one of my favorite animals, which are tigers. Now it's kind of becoming turtles, but I really like tigers a lot still. After we choose our topic, we're going to go into selecting a topic. Now, one of the first steps in informative writing is selecting a topic. Once you know what you're interested in writing about, it's important to narrow down your topic to something that's a bit more specific. For each topic you choose, list 3 more possible topics that you could research and write about that are a bit more specific. So the first one is done for us, which is dogs. What we're going to be focusing on is our topic, which is tigers. So we're going to narrow it down. A topic could be all about tigers, related to tigers, where tigers live. We could write an informational essay about where tigers live, or we could write an informational essay on how they live. Okay, so these are different topics that we can also write about. This doesn't have to be something that we're going to write about in our essay, but this is for us to explore what are possible different options that we have that we can write about when we do go forward into our writing. Next, we have selecting our subtopics. So the subtopics are going to be your main body paragraphs, right? If you have an introduction, 3 main body paragraphs, and a conclusion, your subtopics are your body paragraphs. So we're going to go into it. So your subtopic for here, once you've chosen your topic for your informative essay, you'll need to choose 3 subtopics. Subtopics are within your essay that provide more detail about specific ideas. To best decide what subtopics you should select, first create a T-chart. This is a T-chart. This is a T-chart right here, to record what you already know and what you hope to learn about your topic. This is important because, when I first started doing this, I thought I knew a lot about tigers, which I already do know a lot about tigers, but there's a lot of things I didn't know about tigers as well. Now, an informative writing gives us an opportunity to learn. It gives us an opportunity to learn about things that we already know about and things that we don't know about. So this is really where we're going to begin doing our research. So I know what I know about tigers, that they're beautiful, they hunt in packs. I was actually wrong about this. I did some research afterwards. This is what I thought, that they hunt in packs. They don't actually hunt in packs. They are similar to lions. There are different types of tigers. Tigers live in different parts of the world. They are carnivores, which means that they eat meat, and they are also considered cats. What I hope to learn is, where do they live? What is their habitat like? And what is their family dynamic like? Like, how are they with each other in their own families? So now my topic is going to be all about tigers. I've chosen it from here, right? Here's one of my topics that I narrowed it down to. So all about tigers is here. And that's going to be my main topic. Now I'm going to break that topic down into 3 parts. 1 is different types of tigers. 2, their habitat. 3, their tiger family life. So over here, we have the first body paragraph, second body paragraph, third body paragraph. Do you see how we are already breaking down what our essay is going to look like before we've even gotten started with it? So we already know what our body paragraphs are going to be about because we have done this. Next page. The next page is finding online sources. So what you're going to do is you're going to either use Kiddle.co or Google. So Kiddle.co, or you could even use Google. All of you know what Google is. So Google.com. All right, to look up topics about the topic that you chose. So let's say tigers. Right, in Kiddle. Kiddle is great for 3rd graders, 4th graders, maybe even 5th graders, but 5th grade and above, you guys should really start using Google to help you guys out. Kiddle is a good place for 3rd and 4th graders to find information without it getting too confusing. But 5th graders and up, I have faith in you guys that you guys can handle Google. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to start with search engine like Google or Yahoo or Kiddle. You'll use keywords to search for your topic and subtopics. So say if I want to look up, what are my topics? Different types of tigers, right? I'm going to go into Kiddle. I'm going to type in different types of tigers. So we're going to find a source. Let's see. Oh, tiger species right here. Okay. So here I can find different types of tigers. I have my facts about them, why they matter, threats, all that type of stuff, their habitat, all that information. Or I could come over to Google and I could search different types of tigers. All right, 9 types of tigers. Boom, right here. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to take this, I'm going to copy it, or I can press Control-C, or I can just press like that. And I'm going to come down here and I'm going to put this source here. Now, if you have more than 5 sources, that's fine. You know, just list out more than 5 sources, but there are 5 sources here. What you want to really do is you want to find one source for each one of these. So we'll find a source for different types of tigers, a source for their habitat, a source for their tiger family life. You might need to find more than one source because, you know, different websites have different types of information. So you're going to use keywords to search for your topic and subtopic. You're going to look for credible websites. Wikipedia is not a credible website, okay? Now, something that you can do if you are looking on Wikipedia is you can always do something like this. Here, I'll show you. So say if we go tigers, right? And we'll say tigers wiki. So a lot of you are going to end up on Wikipedia. All right, yeah, there is a lot of information on here, but guess what? This information can also be edited by anybody. All right, so it's not to say that all of this information is false, but this information can be updated by anybody in the world. So that is why Wikipedia is not a great source. I can go on and update this whole thing about tigers being all purple, and I could write that in here. Of course, there'll be checks and balances and stuff, but I can put that in here and other people can find that, right? And then people are gonna be like, oh, tigers are naturally purple. They're not. So what you can do if you do decide to use a Wikipedia page is if you scroll all the way to the bottom, there are these reference pages. These reference pages is where people pull information to put in this Wikipedia page. All right, so let's say something about tigers down here. All right, scent marking free-ranging tigers. There are tigers. Okay, so now we have an academic paper, an academic journal. This was written by somebody else, where we can go into and find information to put in our writing. But we cannot use, if we decide to use this, we're going to have to copy and paste this entire source and not the Wikipedia page. Okay, we are not going to be using Wikipedia for our informational writing. All right, so we want to make sure is the information current. We'll look at publication dates, when things were published. Are there other sources cited on the page? Are credentials provided for the authors? So do we have the authors' names there? Is the website maintained by a reliable news source or organization? So we should also always be looking for those types of things in our sources that we find. We need to find credible sources. We need to find right sources. There's a lot of nonsense out there on the internet. It is our job to find the nonsense and put it away and use the real stuff. All right. Make sure the sources that you select are easy for you to read and understand. Now, this one's really important, especially when you're looking on Google, because you're going to find a lot of sources that look like this. And case 5, the eastern section of the trail transect was also the eastern border of the MBB's territory. The western section of the transect, however, was in the middle of his territory. All right, some of you might understand what this means, but a lot of you might not understand what this means. And that's okay. What we need to do is we need to find sources that are easy for us to understand. So if you're finding something that's like a doctoral paper on tigers and it's really difficult for you to understand that, then don't use it. You want to find things that are easier for you to understand. And who cares if it's written in basic language, as long as it's easy for you to understand and digest that knowledge, that's the important part, okay? So make sure you're finding sources that are easy for you to understand. Next up, this is where we start getting into the research. Now, what I've done here is I have Googled the 9 different types of tigers, right? So we had, let's look that up. So 9 different types of tigers. Okay, so I Googled 9 different types of tigers. I found a link right here, 9 different types of tigers. I took this one, copied it, pasted it here, right? There's also another website that I used here. Let me stop sharing so I could show you guys. Okay, so over here, I had a different source. Hopefully you guys can see both parts of my screen. This first one is where I got all of my information from. So there's different types of tigers. There's 6 living species, which is the Siberian, Bengal, Indo-Chinese, Malayan, and Sumatran, and South China. And then there's 3 extinct species, which is the Bali, Caspian, and Javan tigers, okay? Now, in this subtopic 1, there wasn't enough, this was only 1 page. So what I did was I right-clicked and then I duplicated the slide. So then I had an extra slide to write in. All right, so that's why there are 2 pages for the lesson 8 subtopic 1. So different types of tigers I put in here. So Siberian tigers, made a note for Siberian tigers, And then I summarized brief bits of information that I thought were important, and I put them in here. So muscular and large head, vary from orange to brown with white areas and black stripes, long whiskers and round eyes. Now, this is where I'm informationally researching and learning about my topic more in detail. So Siberian tigers are very muscular, packed with large heads and powerful forelimbs. Their colors vary from orange to brown and are splashed with white areas and black stripes. Their faces have long whiskers that are longer in male tigers, featuring eyes that don rounded pupils that have been accentuated by yellow irises. The ears, however, are small and round with black markings that surround white areas called ocelli, which are not decorative, but actually contribute to communication within the species. So I have this information here. What I've done is I've read everything about Siberian tigers and I've put all of that information in here, okay? Do you see how my sentences are very short? They're not long, they're just straight to the point. Look, this research and note-taking is for me. It's for when you're doing it, it's going to be for you. So I don't need to put in like full-on fancy sentences in here. This isn't the time for fancy sentences. This is, let's get our information, let's pull it out, let's put it in our writing. So we have Bengal tigers here, we have Indo, Chinese, Malayan, South China, and then we have extinct species. So Bali tigers, Caspian tigers, Javan tigers. All right, and there's all this information over here. So what I've done is I've put that in here, right? So that's what that looks like. This is going to make it really easy when I go on to do my actual writing. So we have here now subtopic 2. I've found a source. I found a few sources, but I found 2 sources that for this. Now this is what their habitat is. This is Bengal tigers live in Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal. They have grasslands, rainforests, mangrove forests, and scrub forests. Indo-Chinese tigers. It goes back into. There's a lot of details here about those tigers. So I've broken down. So Indo-Chinese tigers live in Burma, Cambodia, Laos, China, Vietnam, Thailand, prefer in rainforests that are hilly or mountainous. And I have different sources here that say those things because I found them in these sources. Okay. So it's important for us to read our sources and find that information and put that into our brainstorming. All right, and the final one was tigers and tiger family life, right? I really wanted to learn how are they within their own families? And I have all of that information here, right? So tigers do not form family relationships in the same way that humans do. They are solitary animals and prefer to live on their own. And I've gotten all of that information here. And I've taken it, I put it in my own words in here. All right, so that is going to be the brainstorming, the initial brainstorming. Okay, so now that we have our initial brainstorming done, we are going to be moving on to our introduction. Now, this isn't, there's 2 major areas that a lot of kids struggle with. It is the introduction and conclusion. And if you've ever had challenges in those areas, you know that it can get tricky to figure out how to write an introduction and how to write a conclusion. So what we're going to be going into now is how do we brainstorm and plan out our introduction? So that way we can make sure that our introduction is interesting and it really pulls the reader in. And that's what we're going to be focusing on now. So let's get started. Remember, our goal is to make things easy for us. So this is how we're going to plan out our introduction. So an informative writing should always start with a strong lead or opening sentence in order to grab the attention of your readers. Below are types of strong leads and examples for each. For each type, you're going to write a lead sentence based on your own topic. So you can ask a question. Have you ever wondered where rain comes from? Or my topic is, have you ever wondered about tigers? You can start it off with an interesting fact. While the human body is composed of 206 bones, Sharks do not have a single bone in their bodies. Whoa, super interesting. My topic, while humans don't, oh, this one, don't eat each other. Male tigers, while humans don't eat each other, for the most part, male tigers may eat other cubs. Whoa, super easy, interesting. Male tigers eat other baby tigers. What is going on? We could start it off with a quote. I just Googled tiger quotes. I feel like a tiger right now. There's nothing impossible if you get up and work for it. Michael Flatley. Or you could set the scene. Through the leaves of the dense jungle, two golden eyes peer through the leaves and into my soul. Wow, it's super like deep, makes you feel a certain sort of way. You kind of get the shivers. Through the leaves of the dense jungle, two golden eyes peer through the leaves and into my soul. Right? Makes it interesting. So what you're going to do is you are going to fill this out in your Google Classroom, and then you're going to pick your favorite one. I know that you might be like, oh, but I already know which one I want to write. Write them all out first, because there might be another one that catches your attention more. I wanted to start off with an interesting fact, but it wasn't until I wrote all of them that I chose to set the scene, because I was like, whoa, that sounds more interesting. I like that one. Okay. So let's go into now actually writing the introduction. So for our introduction, we're going to introduce the topic. After we've picked our strong lead sentence, the rest of your introduction paragraph should introduce your topic and subtopic and give your readers an idea of what your essay is going to be about. You don't want to include too many facts and details at this point, but simply introduce your reader to your topic. Here's an example, and then we'll go into mine. So the example would be, the topic would be tropical rainforest. Then we would talk about the three main subtopics of the tropical rainforest, which is climate, plant life, and animals. So we're going to start off with the lead, which is, imagine a place where it rains all day and the sun is shaded by a canopy of bright green leaves. This unique biome is known as a tropical rainforest. All right, so we have our lead, which is this first sentence, grabs the reader's attention. And then we have our topic sentence, where we introduce the topic. This unique biome is known as a tropical rainforest. Now what we do is we introduce our three main subtopics. So these are the topics that we are going to be writing about from our previous page. So here, right? I'm going to be writing about different types of tigers, their habitat, and tiger family. So here, in a tropical rainforest, you will find hot, wet climate. First one, subtopic, climate. Unlike any other terrestrial environment, you'll be surrounded by lush, brightly colored plants. Second topic is plant life. And a large variety of diverse animal species, animals. Last subtopic. The rainforest offers an amazing environment just waiting to be explored. So, my introduction. Through the leaves of the dense rainforest, two golden eyes peer through the leaves and into my soul. This is our lead. Welcome to the rainforest. In every habitat, oh, I messed up. This should be, welcome to the world of tigers. In every habitat, topic sentence, right? Welcome to the world of tigers. In every habitat lives an apex predator. Meet the tiger. There are 9 different types of tigers. Their habitats range from mountains to forests, and they have a very unique and unusual family life. So I'm missing one here. So there are 9 different types of tigers. Their habitats range from mountains to forests, and they have a very unique and unusual family life. Nope, not missing one. Never mind. So this is my first subtopic, second subtopic, and third subtopic. Okay, we've broken it down into 3 different subtopics. I'm not going into full-on detail. This is just my introductory paragraph. Okay. Now we have our first paragraph of our essay done. Done. Look at that. You just, once you do this on your own, your first introductory paragraph will be completed. Right? Now let's move on to the real main part of our writing, which is the body paragraphs and the conclusion. Now, I know this seems like a lot of work, and it is, but guess what? Once you've filled all of this out, the rest of your essay will be so easy and simple. Remember, our goal is to make things easy for ourselves. We'll do all the upfront work, and then when we write it, it is super simple and easy. Okay. So let's get into our body paragraphs and topic sentences. When writing your body paragraphs, your 3 subtopic paragraphs always start with a topic sentence. The topic sentence should be clear and concise and should introduce your reader to the topic of the paragraph. You're going to avoid sentences that start with the following. In this paragraph, I'm going to tell you about, this paragraph will be about. We're not going to write like that. What you're going to do now is you're going to write a topic sentence for each of the subtopics. You're going to refer to your research notes for ideas. Be sure to write a complete declarative sentence for each. Okay, so let me branch this out a little bit. Share screen. Okay. All right, so I have 1, which is my brainstorming page, which is on the left-hand side of the screen. And then we have 3, which is the sample body paragraphs, which you haven't completed yet. We're going to go through it together now. I have both of these pulled up together so that way I can pull information from this one and put it into my body paragraphs, because all of my brainstorming and my ideas are in this one over here, okay? All right, let's get started. So subtopic 1, let's look at subtopic 1. What is subtopic 1? Subtopic 1 is different types of tigers, right? Subtopic 1 right here, different types of tigers, different types of tigers, different types of tigers. Topic sentence, did you know there are 9 different types of tigers? Topic sentence 1, done. So the first sentence of my first body paragraph has been done. Now, a tiger's habitat, subtopic number 2. See, subtopic number 2, tiger's habitat. Topic sentence, many people believe that tigers only live in one kind of habitat. The truth is that tigers can live in everything from grasslands to rainforests, right? I pulled that information from subtopic number 2, right? I pulled out 1 sentence because I'm going to be going more in detail when I start writing my paragraph. Subtopic number 3 is going to be tiger family life. So we see here, tiger family life. Tiger family life. My topic sentence is going to be, tigers have a different family structure than humans do. They are primarily solitary animals that prefer to live on their own. And I got that information from my subtopic 3 of my brainstorming page right here. And I just summarize it here. I put a topic sentence in here. Okay. All right, let's get into it. Now, with subtopic 1, what we do, let's make this bigger. All right, now with subtopic 1, we are at different types of tigers. Did you know that there are 9 different types of tigers? What we're going to do is we're going to copy this. Subtopic 1 is different types of tigers. Topic sentence, which is the main idea of what it is mostly about, this paragraph. What is this paragraph is mostly about? It's mostly about the 9 different types of tigers. Supporting detail and example number 1. We know that 6 of the 9 tigers are still living, right? And we got that information from our research that we already did, right? We want to make this easy for ourselves. We do all the research and then we start filling it in, filling it in, filling it in. So we know 6 of the 9 tigers are still living. And then we explain these 6 are still living. We know that 3 of the 9 tigers are extinct. Bali, Caspian, and Javan. Supporting detail number 3 is I'm going to start talking about why tigers are going extinct. And my research, where is it? Research I talk about because of environmental changes and poaching. Okay. And I'm also going to go more into detail. I'm not just going to write this sentence. I have to, or I'm not going to just put these words in when I go in to do my writing. I'm going to turn these into sentences. Right now, I'm just planning out my ideas. I don't need to put on full-on sentences yet. Okay. Now, the second one is their habitat, right? And this one, so we're going to go back to here. We're going to copy our topic sentence. Copy. Many people believe that tigers only live in one kind of habitat. The truth is that tigers can live in everything from grasslands to rainforests. So we're going to take that one and we are going to put it in the second. Wait. Yeah. In the second one. So second subtopic is their habitat. And then we have right here, many people believe that tigers only live in one kind of habitat. The truth is that tigers can live in everything from grasslands to rainforests. So I go back into my brainstorming page, which I'm now in their habitat, and all about their habitat is written here, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start separating and putting that information. So Bengal and Indo-Chinese tigers, I'll talk about them and their explanation. Malayan and Sumatran, I'll talk about them. Then South China, I'll talk about them, right? And I'll explain in detail. And then I have a closing sentence right here. A closing sentence is very similar to your topic sentence, but do not copy and paste this one to here. What you want to do is you want to close out your paragraph. So you want to tie your paragraph into a nice, neat little bow. So here we have many people believe that tigers can only live in one kind of habitat. The truth is that tigers can live in everything from grasslands to rainforests. Explain, 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 or detail, 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 and then I explain them. Closing sentence. A tiger's habitat varies based on where it lives and the conditions it faces. While their habitats vary, their social dynamics and family structure are much of the same. So I've closed out this paragraph here, right? I just said again in different words that there's different types of tigers that live in different places. I've also in the second sentence or in the second part of that sentence, I have put in a clue to what is coming next. Their social dynamics and family structures are much of the same. So the next paragraph is going to be about tiger family life. Okay, so look, I did that here too. Let's see, I'll show you. So in the topic sentence for the first body paragraph, did you know that there are 9 different types of tigers? The closing sentence is, now you know about the 9 different types of tigers. 3 of the 9 tigers have gone extinct. The still living tiger species all live in different habitats. All right. Still living tiger species all live in different habitats. So we take this information, this one goes here. So their habitat is the next one. You see how I linked that first body paragraph to the second body paragraph? Many people still believe that tigers only live in one kind of habitat. The truth is that tigers can live in everything from grasslands to rainforests. Then I talk about everything in my topic. I give a supporting detail here, and then I explain here, supporting detail number 2, and then I explain here, supporting detail number 3, and then I explain here. And then closing sentence, I recap what I said in this paragraph. A tiger's habitat varies based on where it lives and the conditions it faces. Great, I recapped. Now, next sentence is, while their habitats vary, their social dynamics and family structures are much of the same, linking to the next paragraph. This is how you create flow in your writing. Subtopic 3 is tiger family life. Tigers have a different family structure than humans do. They are primarily solitary animals that prefer to live on their own. Supporting detail number 1, sometimes they come in contact with each other. Then I have an explanation, all of this stuff. These are not written in proper sentences. When I go to write my draft, I am going to put them into proper sentences. Okay, this is just for me, or when you're writing it, this is just for you to have a good idea of where your writing is going. Supporting detail number 2, the mother keeps the cubs safe in their den. Explanation, I give an explanation to all of that. Male tigers dominate female tigers and smaller males. And then I explain all of that here in the explanation. Then I have the closing sentence. Tigers choose to be solitary animals and they prefer to live life on their own. Wait, but Mr. Sunny, what are you linking it to? Well, this is my last body paragraph. The next paragraph after this is going to be in the conclusion. If you have more than 3 body paragraphs, great. But just make sure that your final body paragraph, it doesn't have to link to the conclusion because that is your final subtopic. Okay, like you have your final subtopic there. All right. Now, we talked about the introduction. We talked about the introduction. Let's talk about the conclusion now. So, our conclusion paragraph, I'm going to show you exactly how to write your conclusion. And I know a lot of you kids struggle with it, so pay attention and you're going to write a great conclusion. So you're going to use the following to help you write your conclusion paragraph. You'll start with a transition. You can start with, as you can see, in conclusion, to conclude, all in all, to sum it up. Then you'll restate your topic and subtopics. You can refer back to your introduction to see how you wrote your introduction. And then add a final call, a final thought or call to action. Use the space below to write your conclusion paragraph. As you can see, tigers are very unique animals. There are 9 different types of tigers. Let's go back to our introduction to take a look at this. All right, so through the leaves of the dense rainforest, 2 golden eyes peer through the leaves and into my soul. Welcome to the world of tigers. In every habitat lives an apex predator. I'm going to take this, meet the tiger part out. It's repetitive. There are 9 different types of tigers. Their habitats range from mountains to forests, and they have a very unique and unusual family life. So that is our introduction. Our body paragraph is very similar to that, or our conclusion paragraph is very similar to that. As you can see, tigers are very unique animals. There are 9 different types of tigers. 6 out of the 9 species are still living. I give a little bit of explanation on that first one. 3 of those species have gone extinct because of poaching and environmental changes. Great, that's the first body paragraph. Let's do this. There are 9 different. Okay, so this one is the first body paragraph. That is the topic of the first body paragraph. The second one, a tiger's habitat varies based on where it lives. Tigers can live in habitats ranging from grasslands to rainforests. Second body paragraph. Finally, tigers have very different social structures and prefer a solitary life. Great. Third body paragraph. All right, that's where we restate. Now, I'm going to add my final thought or a call to action. So I'm going to put in a final thought. Tigers are very unique animals that tigers are very unique animals that make the animal kingdom are very unique apex predators. That's my final thought. So that is my conclusion. So if we plan out everything, if we plan out everything, we will have our introduction paragraph written for it, done. We will have our body paragraphs written, 1, 2, 3 body paragraphs written, and our conclusion done. This is why it is important to do a pre-write, because now all we need to do is make things into sentences and put them all together, which is much easier than making things into sentences and thinking of ideas at the same time. All right. So I know that this was a lot of upfront work. This next part of the video, I'm going to show you how to write your first draft. Ready? Let's get started. All right, students, I have just finished writing my first draft about tigers. I timed myself. It took me about 35 to 40 minutes to write my first draft. Now, the reason that it didn't take me too much time to write my first draft was because I had already written it. And where I had already written it was in all of my pre-writing that I did. All of my ideas were there, the introduction was there, all the body paragraphs was there, and the conclusion was there. All I had to do was to put it together and explain. All right, so I'm going to go through my first draft with all of you. This is how your first draft should look as well. So share my screen. Share screen. Okay. Oh. Okay, so this is my first draft, right? It's about 1.5 pages. Now, let's talk, before we get into the actual words, let's look at what this should look like. So we have one introduction, we have 1, 2, 3 body paragraphs, 4 body paragraphs, and a conclusion here, okay? All of that was taken from our pre-writing pages. What I want you guys to make sure that you're doing is that always make sure that your text is either Arial or Times New Roman font. Do not use any crazy fonts. It makes it weird to look at, and also if it's difficult to read for your teacher, you are going to get a lower grade because we have to try to read what you are writing. Just use a very basic font. So Arial or Times New Roman. The size should be from 12 to 14. Do not go over size 14. We know that when you do this, you are trying to make more pages than you have actually written. All right. So I know the trick. I have been there. I have done it myself as a kid. So let's just make sure you are choosing either size 12, 13, or 14. So we're going to stick with 14 here. All right. Size 14 font. Now what we're going to do next is we are going to make sure everything is double spaced. So we're going to click this button right up here, which is the line spacing. And we're going to click double. Right. So now we've double spaced it. Yes, it does add to the number of pages that we have written, but it makes it easier to read. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at my writing compared to my pre-write, so that way you kids know exactly how you can write your first draft based on an awesome pre-write that you have just finished. Okay, so on this page we have our brainstorming page, right? Let's just go through this real quick. We have our brainstorming page. This is where we planned out our topic. We selected our subtopics, found our sources, we took notes based on our sources here. We did all of that for our subtopics. Then we wrote our introduction with a strong lead, and then we had our topic and then our subtopics here. Introduction was already done because we finished it here. Next up, then we wrote all of our body paragraphs with the 3 different subtopics and their topic sentences. We explained it here with their topic sentence main idea, which is the first sentence. Then you have your first example and explanation, second example and explanation, third example and explanation, and then your closing sentence right here, which hooks to the next paragraph. So we did that for the body paragraph number 1, body paragraph number 2, and body paragraph number 3. Body paragraph number 3 does not have the hook because after this is the concluding sentence. I mean, the conclusion of your essay, unless you have more body paragraphs than the final body paragraph doesn't have one. And then we learned how to write a conclusion, and we all wrote our conclusion, and it's done. Okay, so make sure you guys have your pre-write done completely before you move on into the next part of this video. If you do not have your pre-write done, finish your pre-write first, and then pause this video, finish your pre-write, and then we're going to go into the draft together. Okay, so let's look at this. Everybody can see. All right, so let's start off with the introduction. What I did was I went into my introducing my topic. I copied this and I pasted it here. Made sure that it made sense. Through the leaves of the dense rainforest, 2 golden eyes peered through the leaves and into my soul. Welcome to the world of tigers. In every habitat lives an apex predator. That's subtopics 1. This is subtopic 1. There are 9 different types of tigers, subtopic 1. Their habitats range from mountains to forests, subtopic 2. And they have a very unique and unusual family life, subtopic 3. Okay, so we have our lead right here. Lead is right here. Captivates the audience attention. This is the topic. And then this is the subtopics. Introduction, done. Now, let's go into our sample body paragraphs. So we'll go to the second slide, which is subtopic number 1, the different types of tigers. Topic sentence, did you know there are 9 different types of tigers? Did you know there are 9 different types of tigers? 6 of the 9 tigers are still living. 6 of the 9 tigers are still living. Then the explanation of these 6. I have the Siberian, Bengal, Indo-Chinese, Malayan, Sumatran, and South Chinas are still alive. Okay, now what I've done in this part is I have explained everything about each one of them. Okay, so here, this is all of my explanation. And I got that from my brainstorming. Okay, this is why brainstorming is so important, because these are where all of your notes are. So in my essay, I wrote the Siberian tiger is the biggest of them all. See, I have that here. The biggest of them all. Large, muscular, and large head. It is muscular and has a large head. They vary from brown to orange with white areas and black stripes. The tiger has long whiskers and round eyes. Next, the Bengal tiger is dwindling in its numbers. There are only 2,500 left. Oh, I got that here. They're going extinct, right? Only 2,500. Male tigers can reach up to 120 inches long, while the female tigers reach up to 104 inches. The Indo-Chinese tigers are darker in color and smaller than Bengal tigers. There are just 350 left in the world, right? I talked about Indo-Chinese here. They're darker in color. All that information is here. I just took it and I put it into my writing in sentences. Make sure you're putting them in proper sentences that explain, all right? So I've done that for Indo-Chinese and also for Malayan tigers here. Now for the next one, you can see that there, after the first body paragraph, there's actually a second body paragraph. This second body paragraph was my choice to make it a second body paragraph to talk about the 3 different extinct species. So the Bali, Caspian, and Javan tigers. All right, I got the information from my source. This is why it's so important to have your sources listed, so that way you can just go back to them whenever you need to. So the extinct subspecies is the Bali, Caspian, and Javan, right? And I got the information. I didn't just copy and paste information from here to here, okay? I summarized it and put it in my own words, which is very important to do. Of the 9 species of tigers, 3 have gone extinct. When a species goes extinct, it means that there are no living members and they are no longer in existence. All right, so I explained what it means to go extinct. If you're using any types of words where you feel like, you know, this definition can be explained a little bit so that way my reader understands what this means, do that. The first extinct tiger is the Bali tiger. Bali tiger, it used to be the smallest subspecies. These tigers became extinct because of hunting. The second tiger is the Caspian tiger. Right? Second tiger is the Caspian tiger, which I talked about here. The subspecies used to be found in sparse forests in areas of west of the Caspian Sea. They were last sighted in the early 1970s. The final extinct tiger is known as the Javan tiger. Javan tigers are bigger than Bali tigers and were last seen in Mount Batiri area. Now you know about the 9 different tigers. Let's look back here, right? So here we're in our body paragraphs, right? The closing sentences. Now you know about the 9 different tigers. 3 of the 9 tiger species have gone extinct. The still living tiger species all live in different habitats. Right here, boom, closing sentence, right? So we have introductory. This is introductory right up here, or here. And then I've separated this first subtopic out into 2 paragraphs. So we'll have 1 paragraph here, 2nd paragraph here, still part of the same subtopic. And then I have the closing sentence here, just like that. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. Next paragraph is their habitat, right? Topic, sentence, main idea, right here. Take that, and I put that topic, sentence, main idea right here, right? We did all this work, apply it. So we have all these supporting details and their examples here, and I've just put them into sentences here. So Bengal and Indo-Chinese tigers live in Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, and Nepal. They live in grasslands, rainforests, mangroves, forests, and scrub forests. The Malayan and Sumatran tigers, detail number 2, live in the Malay Peninsula and can adapt to the Sumatran rainforests in Indonesia. The South China, boom, right here. The South China tiger lives mostly in captivity. There are no South China tigers that live in the wild. There we go. That paragraph is done, right? And we just pulled all the information out of everything that we have researched and created already for ourselves. Closing sentence, a tiger's habitat varies based on where it lives and the conditions it faces. While their habitats vary, their social dynamics and family structures are much of the same. Right here. Right here. Closing sentence is right here. Okay. So here we have our introductory topic, sentence, main idea in the beginning. Then we go into explaining all of this great stuff, just from here to here. And then we have our closing sentence, which is right here. Right? This is why it's so important to do a pre-write. So that way when we write our first draft, we have all the details there. Done. Now, final paragraph is that the tiger family life, right? So we have a topic sentence here. Tigers have a very different family structure than humans do. They are primarily solitary animals that prefer to live on their own. There, topic sentence done. Supporting detail example 1. Sometimes they come in contact with each other. Sometimes tigers do come in contact with each other. It's a little bit different from this one. A little bit, I've used a comma in there, make it more interesting. When they do, they may purr or growl at each other. Right here, right? I'm just taking things right from my pre-write and putting it into my draft. I don't have to think about this anymore. Tigers have, when they do, they may purr or growl at each other. Tigers that have mated in the past will be sociable with each other. The male is only present during the mating. Then they will leave to visit other territories. Then the then pregnant female will carry on her own and give birth to 3 to 5 cubs at a time. That's my first detail. Second supporting detail example 2, the mother keeps the cubs safe in her den. It will be her responsibility to raise her cubs without the help of the male tiger. The mother keeps the cubs safe in her den. Of her cubs, the most powerful male will decide when the rest of the cubs will eat, play, and rest. Explanation right here. Supporting detail number 3. Male tigers dominate female tigers and smaller males. They will even kill a female tiger's cubs if she doesn't mate with him. Female tigers are more tolerant of one another than males are of other males. That is why they have smaller territories than males do. Tigers choose to be solitary animals and they prefer to live life on their own. So we have explanation right here, right? We explained, and then we have the explanation, the details that we want to add to our story. And then we close it with the closing sentence right here. Closing sentence right here. Okay. Then conclusion, we already wrote our conclusion, right? It's already done. We wrote our conclusion already. All I did was I took my conclusion, I double checked it, made sure it was good, I copied it, and then I put my conclusion here. Done. Perfect. And that is our first draft of our writing, okay? Remember, this is why this pre-write is so important. When we write a pre-write, we get all of our ideas out. We get our introduction out, how we're organizing our writing, our body paragraphs pre-written, and we get our conclusion pre-written. And then we go into our first draft and just take what we have in our pre-writing, change it into sentences, put some words in it, make it sound better, and then put it all together and organize it nicely and neatly. All right. This is the key to writing well. Planning your writing well before you even begin your writing. If you guys ever are writing informational writings in school and you need help, you guys can always watch this video, look back at this video to follow this format to help you do well in school and also do well with us at Wholesome. All right, everybody, I hope you guys, this video was helpful and I will see you guys in classes. Bye, everybody.